Live. Welcome to the Android Headlines Podcast, episode number 15. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the H Show. Fasten your seatbelts. It's time to get your droid on. This week we're going to talk about the latest Android news and rumors, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This episode is number 16. We're just happy to be here. Last week we were giggling way too much, and our fans almost totally had our show banned from Google and YouTube because they were not very happy about the giggling. And so this week we're going to be attempting to do a giggle-free show. Yes. So on this episode, guys, we are going to be covering several topics from the HTC Droid DNA, Nexus 4, Android 4.2, and as well some LG, and as well Google stores. And we're also going to be doing a special giveaway at the end of the show as well, all the way from the United Kingdom. So let's get on to our co-host here on our show with me tonight. I'm Chris Yaklik, El Patron, coming to you from the sunny, expensive suburb in Los Angeles, California. And to the left of me is Alex Maxim from Detroit Rock City. Alex the Great, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing awesome. Thank you. Sitting over to the right of me is Christina Gardner, the diva of Android headlines. Hi, Christina. How you doing?
I am doing great.
Awesome. Now, without further ado, your favorite and mine too, Tom the Duke Dawson. How you doing, Mr. Dawson?
I'm alright. I'm cold. Very cold.
Cold. It's the UK. It's always cold. It's raining or cold. We got it figured out now already, buddy.
No rain.
Oh, you're always cold.
But it's been very cold.
It has been very
always cold. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that weather update from the UK. It's cold.
You're welcome. I'm working on getting some weather screens behind me, but
surprise.
I'm working on getting some weather screens behind me for all of Europe, but until they arrive.
And you could put sunny weather screens there, and you could say you're hot and dress in beachwear.
Yeah, what I could do is I could get some really bright lights in front of me, put reflectors behind me, and now we'll be set.
Exactly. Sounds like a good plan. We'll be from sunny London from now on. All right, yeah, guys. Right. Let's get some heat going in this kitchen, start cooking with our first hot topic of the week, because it's time to get your droid on. HTC Droid DNA coming early December. This is a phone we've been talking about for a while now, and we're going to head back to our assistant editor, Tom Dawson, to fill you in on all the latest on HTC Droid DNA. What's happening in that area, Tom?
HTC are finally bringing a decent phone to Verizon, it would seem. And it's going to be based off of the HTC Butterfly J that got announced completely out of the blue, that they announced for Japan. The 5-inch Full HD 1080p super phone with the quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro, so on and so forth. And it's been leaked by our friends at EV Leaks as the Droid DNA, and it looks as if it's very much on its way to Verizon. It's basically we all thought this when the Butterfly J came out, because there was a red variant on the phone and it had a black variant and it had red stripes down the side, and everyone, when you see that, it just kind of screams a Droid phone. Like
no, I thought it was T-Mobile. Sorry.
No, that's the magenta version, Chris.
Okay. Okay.
No, so it looks like the Droid DNA is basically going to be the Butterfly J coming to Verizon. We don't know when, but if they hope to make some serious sales, it wants to be relatively soon, before Christmas.
Now we probably are going to be looking at some type of official announcement, or maybe even a press conference coming out, I would say, this month, if they want to get this thing out for December and make those all-important Christmas sales. Possibly get it out for Black Friday into the stores would be a pretty smart idea. So we definitely should be hearing more and seeing more about this phone in the next week or two. We already have on our site, you can check it out, and it's Droid Eye on the Droid DNA. That's the name for it, the Droid DNA. Looks like kind of like a press photo for it. So it looks like there's some marketing already set up for it, and when you start seeing the marketing, there's good chances you're going to see it right away. Now, the rumor was that it could be early December. I'm going to take a guesstimate and say that would maybe be a little late. You definitely would want to see this hit the market before that. Otherwise, when people have already done their smartphone shopping for Christmas, early December might be a little bit too late. So you could definitely see that early. It's got some great specs on it. As Tom mentioned, 5-inch, 440 ppi. That's amazing. Like, that's going to have one of the best displays going. Quad-core S4 Pro, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 8 megabyte rear camera, Jelly Bean, and Beats Audio 4G LTE for all those LTE lovers out there. So stay tuned. That should be hitting Verizon very shortly. We expect an announcement from them any day now. Now, to move on to our next topic, guys, let's move on to last week. We were gracious enough to have Google leak out or provide us with the information on the LG Nexus 4, even though Hurricane Sandy had totally wiped out the original event. Everything was announced, as you probably all know, unless you're hiding under a rock. The LG Nexus 4 was announced, the Nexus 10 was announced, and as well 32 gigabyte 3GS versions of the Nexus 7. Now, one of the things we delved into this pretty extensive last week, but there's still a little bit of talk around on it about the 8 gigabyte version, and is it enough for the Nexus 4? And one of our crack writers here at Android Headlines, Cody Fraser, he dug into it a little bit more and had talked about, is the 8 gigabytes enough for the average smartphone consumer? And he actually said yes. I don't know what he was smoking or what he was drinking, but yeah, that's what he said. So I'm going to hand it back over to Tom. Tom, you're going to go over what Cody had covered and what was his rationale for that crazy thinking that an 8 gigabyte phone would actually work. What was it, Tom? What was this man thinking?
Well, I'm not sure what he was thinking either, because I don't know about anyone else, but I couldn't live with 8 gigabytes. But he made a very good case in that, there are lots of services out there that you can stream things and get your stuff from, like, for instance, music. You've got Google Music. You can stream music from other. You've got Pandora. You've got these things. You can even, you can get movies and things streaming. I mean, Netflix is super popular, and they've done lots and lots to improve their catalog, and that works over 3G, and most of the time around Wi-Fi. So I mean, it all comes down to how you sort of use it. I mean, a point that Alex makes quite often is that all you really need on a phone is enough room for some apps and the odd game. I mean, if you've played a game on a mobile device, you're not going to keep it lying around. You might uninstall it, and then you'll install something else. But realistically, you don't need to load up your phone with lots of music, because you can stream it from somewhere else. So you have enough music, say like a couple of playlists, and then you stream your music from Google Music or Pandora or Audio or wherever else.
Right. And Google as well has your Google Movies. They have books, they have magazines, and that's all conveniently as well storage. Plus, as well, we have Google Drive for any of your documentation that you need. You can as well store files on Google Drive. Plus, we have all kinds of cloud storage, which is easily accessible from your Android phone. And your pictures can be uploaded to sites. So what is it actually that you would be storing on your device then? Would just be apps. Is that not right, Tom?
Well, yeah, this is true. But I mean, in an ideal world, you would be able to do all those things, and you can do everything, like you said. I mean, you can do everything. You can do anything pretty much through Google now. I mean, there's little, unless you want to go to Netflix, you don't really need to go outside of Google. So their servers are always fast enough. If you get decent 3G or you're on Wi-Fi, then yeah, you can use all manner of services from Google Drive. You get 5 gigabytes free. It's cheap to upgrade. You can do everything with it, but
pretty well.
You can 3G. Then
you can handle. You can store everything except for pretty well some of your apps, and that's one of the problems with an 8 gigabyte though, is that some of the apps are getting huge.
Especially games.
You can keep your basic apps, which are not going to store, take up a ton of room. But if you're starting to get into some nice gaming, those apps are going to suck up some good space on there. So you're going to have to watch what you download, what you're putting on there. So if you're kind of a conscious, downloader of apps, you could probably make it work. But I think for the most average consumers that kind of, have a wide variety of apps, like to have kind of everything installed, play it at will, that might not work. Now let me ask you guys individually, without going too much into detail, could you make an 8 gigabyte version Nexus 4 work? Would it work for you? Let me start off with Alex over here. Would it work for you, Alex? Could you handle an 8 gigabyte version? Yeah?
Yep.
Awesome. way to go detailed into that. Christina, would an 8 gigabyte version work for you?
Probably not, just because of the amount of pictures I take. I have at least
what
3
about
to 4.
Putting them on Picasa?
I do, but I also save them on my phone too, so I guess I could if I really wanted to.
Google Drive, right?
Dropbox.
That is true.
Dropbox up below some.
Now I'm in the same boat. I actually don't use a whole lot of apps on my actual phone. I have a little variety of them, but I don't use a whole lot. I could get away with an 8 gigabyte version. It may not be convenient or practical, but I could make it work. Tom, how about you, buddy?
Absolutely no way.
Absolutely no way.
I mean, even though I'm in the same boat as you, I sort of work from home a lot of the time, so I don't need to have a lot of stuff on the go. Most of the time, I have a weird thing where I will load a device up with music because until recently, I don't even think it's launched yet, but Google Music has been outside of my reach. And also, I quite like to have high-quality music files, so most of it's music, and I just hoard things. I mean, I use all the bad stuff
on Google Music.
Well, from home on Wi-Fi it would, but like say I go for a walk or a run around the village, I don't get 3G in the village, so I'm stumped. I mean, sure, I'm not going to use 8 gigabytes worth of music, but I just don't like the idea of running out of space and then managing stuff. And as a quick example, I have a 32 gigabyte 1X here, and I have 5.6 gigabytes left.
Oh my God! Even the
Wow.
16 gigabyte version is going to make Tom have to do some micromanaging with his Android apps and games.
I can
and
live
songs.
with 16 gig.
You'll be having to pick which. I don't really like that song. Okay, it won't be going on.
Yeah. Well, because I link seriously, I link my phone to. I have a number of Bluetooth speakers around the house, and car stereo and stuff. So I link it to everything. So it's sort of like my music locker. It's like my physical music locker.
So I guess it could work for certain individuals, but you definitely would be micromanaging what you put on your phones and how you use your phones as well too. And that's not necessarily what Android is about. So I guess it really depends if you're not a huge user, but you still want an Android phone. Maybe an 8 gigabyte version will work for you, but for most of the average consumers, not going to happen. Now, let's not beat that to a dead horse. Let's move on to our next topic. And Christina was reporting on this story this week that Android 4.2 comes with higher security features. Now, that's great considering how the mass media loves to really slam Android, how there's malware, all kinds of potential holes in it and security issues. And just for our viewers at home, There's holes and security issues everywhere, including your own home, your car, your work, your vehicle, your computer. Everywhere you go, there are vulnerabilities in life. So your smartphone is no different. If someone really wants to get in there, they're going to get in there. But it looks like Google has stepped up their game and thrown some new features coming into the new version of Android that are supposed to, weed out some of those unwanted apps. Why don't you tell us, Christina, what it is exactly that they plan on doing with this new security features?
Well, one of the new security features that they have is apparently they're incorporating an app scanner that's going to scan all the apps that you download from the Google Play Store, and what it's looking for is malware or malicious code. And if it recognizes that there is something malicious about the app, it's not going to let you install the app, which to me seems like a good idea, but I'm always the type of person that every app's not gonna, they're gonna sneak by somehow. But
there is. But I think if you have Google taking a look for this stuff on first hand, which is good for those people that just install anything, and then obviously it's common sense. You know, you have to be a little savvy. You just don't go and install anything on your computer. So, you know, the same type of mentality's got to be brought to your smartphone. What else have they got going on with that?
Apparently they're also doing this malware through text, where certain numbers, like, you know, you have these numbers that maybe you can text yes to this number or something. It's going to recognize that it's a premium number, and it's going to give the user the option to cancel the text or not. Because what it can do is it can secretly install this malware, and then it's behind the scenes without the user seeing is going to send, you know, these text messages to short numbers and can eventually rack up your phone bill.
That's a great feature, because a lot of people, unfortunately, not as tech savvy as some others, and these kind of malware SMS text, phishing, phishing, whatever you want to call them, they are quite popular, and some people, you know, that are not as tech savvy have gone through, you know, some issues with this. So this is going to be a really nice built-in feature for security, because it is a large issue, and you know, with kind of scary type of apps that shouldn't be on your phone in the first place, but managed there, at least they're going to be blocking some of them out. What else is going to be involved in these features? What other kinds of stuff they got going on?
The last thing that I covered was the new app permissions, and I posted got a screenshot, and it kind of shows you between Android 4.1 and then 4.2 the differences, but it's also going to give you the ability to monitor the apps you install, which I would assume, I know quite a few people that, you know, they like having that control, that sense of control. So, I mean, as you can see, you know, it's going to give you a little bit more ideas about privacy, device access, things like that. So it's definitely got a couple more features in it.
Which will definitely be nice. I remember you telling me a story that your boyfriend, he you know, does some dev work, and he was complaining about all the app permissions through that some of these apps are asking for, that some of them aren't necessarily, you know, really needed. And hopefully by exposing what is going on in the phones and what they're asking for, people will be more aware of it, and, you know, that'll just be another tool for them to avoid certain apps in the future.
Exactly.
Now, the overall great thing about this is that Google is becoming more aware of it and doing something about it, because we have been talking for, you know, the past few years about, you know, obviously some of the vulnerabilities. A lot of it has been blowing up through the media and turned into a worse problem than it actually is. But I think bringing it to the forefront and helping secure your Android device is definitely going to be a plus. And you know, Google, this is just the first of probably many more security updates that are going to be coming in the future. I wouldn't doubt if we see official Android, you know, malware app scanner going on, taking place, just like on your home computers. Do you think this is something that is going to really help crack down on it? Let's go to Alex for this. Alex, do you think this is really going to help crack down on malware and virus type of apps and phishing apps?
I think it will, but for the most part, if you're just paying attention to what the app does, and before I download an app, I see what it does. I check out the reviews. Sometimes I'll check out the permissions, but if the reviews aren't good, I won't download it. And usually the ones that are malware will have bad reviews.
And
I've never experienced it.
Neither have I. And that's a great point you bring up, Alex, is that reading the reviews. Whether you research, come to our site, read about an application, or you just see the user reviews on the Play Store, that is valuable information, because if there's something funky or a little bit weird going on in that application, you're going to see the users, give some feedback about that and harp about it. So definitely, before you install, take some time, find out what you're putting on your phone, and then look at the permissions just before you do install it. Make sure you're happy with it. Tom, anything to add before we move on?
No, I was just going to say a good parallel to what Alex was saying is say Amazon user reviews. Like if you want to go buy something off Amazon, you scroll down to the reviews. If it's not got any reviews, you probably look for something else. Or if it's got a lot of reviews, you read one or two and you think, oh, it's not bad. The same thing with apps. If it has no reviews, then you could take a chance, or no one's got there yet. And if it's got a lot of reviews and they're all negative, then it's just a simple alarm bell. It's like, oh well, don't go there. And
good points.
I sort of learned to. I've never had anything like this, but I've come across a number of apps in the Play Store, and I've flagged them that kind of sort of scream, "Oh, I'm a scam," sort of thing. And the thing that I get is not. I don't really look. I should look at permissions, obviously, but for me, it's sort of like if it looks dodgy, if it looks unprofessional,
move away. Go to another app. Don't be the guinea pig.
No, and this isn't something to say about like independent developers that have done their own thing and they've not got the best English on their thing or anything like that. This is just like if it's unprofessional, if it's shoddy, if things don't look right, it's probably not right.
And the best thing you can do too is if the app looks great, there's not a lot of reviews, something doesn't look right. There are so many apps. You can go and find a popular one that does what you want. Install that. Wait a little while. See if some other guinea pigs have tested it out. Let's see how it goes beforehand. Don't be the first guy to try it out. Let someone else. There's tons of apps out there with great reviews that'll do the same thing. So let's move on to our next story, and I'm going to go back to Tom on this. Tom, one of our crack reporters, Nick, had a story over the weekend. Will your phone be getting updated to Android 4.2? And should you actually even care? Of course we care, but I think he went in a little bit more into detail on what 4.2 is going to bring to the phone, and do you really need it?
Yeah, 4.2.
Do you need it?
Who doesn't want the latest and greatest? But I think this time around, Nick wrote a good, blow by blow of the new features, sort of a quick sort of thing in 4.2, and it's realistically just kind of like a bump sort of upgrade, and it's just added features on top of there. It's not like a revamp sort of thing.
Oh, Tom, if I could say something, I think the point of what we're trying to say is that this Jelly Bean is kind of an incremental update where it's not like we're going to be seeing tons of new stuff. Some great little features in it, but you don't got to be freaking out like going from ice cream to Jelly Bean or gingerbread, stuff like that, and pissed off your carrier doesn't have it out right away. And I think the point of the article was kind of going through some of what's in 4.2 and how much it really matters that you get it overnight. It's not something that you need to jump on right away. So let's break down some of the features that are in there and why it isn't key that you jump on it right away or be worried about getting it right away. If you could maybe go down the list of some of the things that were on there, just so that people know you don't got to be screaming and hollering at your carrier because you're gonna be fine without it.
No, your world won't end if you don't get 4.2 ever.
Yes, the world will end. Your smartphone will blow up. And
yeah. So don't make sure you're not on a call when you find that news out, because otherwise,
little babies will die. Sorry. Yeah. So let's go point by point, just quickly here. The multi-user support. You know, no matter
this only
what,
applies to tablets anyway.
Yeah. So you know what? No big deal.
No, I mean I think
it's a beautiful option, and it's coming. Nothing wrong with it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, but it's only.
I think
for
multi-user support. Like, yeah, I mean, I think for most tablet users, you know, I don't think it's going to matter. But if you've got a family, it might be irksome. But you know, it's like one of these things. If it wasn't there before, you're not going to miss it. So, you know, and the chances are, if it came with ice cream sandwich, you might get it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Next one is gesture typing on the keyboard.
Yeah, which
ooh, big deal.
No, I think that is one of the lesser things about 4.2 is you know, Google have basically made swipe integrated and useful. But you know, if you like swipe in the first place, or slide it keyboard, or any of these other alternatives, those alternatives work just as well with 4.1, 4, or even below that. So you're not going to miss it.
Exactly. Now the next one is the new camera app, Photosphere. Now that could be something.
No, I think Panorama was a nice added feature to Android 4. You know, and everyone kind of liked it. It was a sort of like a advanced, you know, it was a nice feature to show off and stuff. And Photosphere goes one better by enabling you to sort of advance, you know, the panoramic shots and stuff. It's an advanced way of photo stitching, and you can in fact make your own little world, do a 360-degree fisheye type thing. But you know, again,
the world isn't going to die if you don't have it till it comes. There's some photo apps out there that'll take care of you.
Yeah, again, it's if it wasn't there before, you might not miss it.
Let's go to Alex here just for 2 seconds. Do we not have on the site that Photosphere for download or something like that, or camera?
Yeah.
Alex,
yep, it's up there. I have it on my Galaxy Nexus too.
You don't need it. We have it on our website. We got it for you. Screw 4.2. Just go to our site. We got it for you. It's already taken care of.
There's also another point to be made about that. There's probably there's a team of developers that do the ICS, the Jelly Bean camera, you know, on the Play Store. That'll probably have Photosphere rolled into it soon. So, wireless display. Miracast is built into 4.2, and depending on how you use your phone or your tablet, you're probably not going to miss this. If you've got a phone that outputs, you know, through to HDMI through an MHL port, or you've got a tablet with an HDMI port out, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to utilize that, the tablet's going to be close to the TV. So wireless display is not going to be much of an issue, and 8 to 9 times out of 10, you probably need to upgrade your TV anyway. So
there we go. Next is the Google Now, which you know, if you're already running, I believe you know, Jelly Bean, it's already pushed out to you.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, the update came out from the Play Store like right after the announcement last week.
So who cares? You know,
Google Now, okay.
Screw it. It's already happening. Now we're getting the enhancements. They're out there. They're already in the roll. Lock screen widgets. Oh my God, this is earth-shattering.
You know, I was just about to say. I'm
going to be waiting for this one because it's not like we don't have 10 apps already in the store to take care of this.
No, and Widget Locker is a really good example of this. Although Widget Locker can be a bit of a battery drain and so on and so forth. I mean, it's nice to see Android sort of adopting these aftermarket features and baking them into the OS and things like that. But again, if you've never tried Widget Locker or any application that puts widgets or you know, on your lock screen or a custom lock screen, you're not going to care.
If you really,
I mean, I can't wait for it. I'm going to really enjoy it. I love putting widgets on a lock screen. Have we killed Chris?
If you really need to, head over to the Google Play Store. It'll take care of you. I'm back. Am I looking funky here as an AH now?
I got a talking robot on screen. It's just,
there we go. I look much prettier. Okay.
Well, you said it.
All right. I'll be the robot for a little bit. Don't know what happened. That was, Google Plus. I'll be the talking robot for this show. Okay. The next is the Music Explorer. What's up with the Music Explorer?
This is something that could be something that rolls back to 4.1 anyway, and it's basically a Play Store feature. You go to music and you can explore similar artists and find some more stuff you like, sort of. Chris, stop trolling the podcast. What are you doing?
I am. I'm coming back in and out. The whole thing. It's all good. Don't worry. Keep on with your show.
It's just so ridiculous. Now we're giggling. You see what we've done?
No giggling. No giggling. This is a giggle-free show.
No giggling, says the maniacal robot. Right. Quick settings. Now, quick settings. Quick settings is something that I think quite a lot of people might actually miss, because it's on the Galaxy S3 and the Galaxy Note line. It has been for quite a while. And HTC implement some kind of weird, clunky thing into Sense for whatever that load of fun is. But the way Android have done it, that there's a two-finger swipe, or you can swipe, and there's a button in the top right. It's nice and simple. There's a quick lock into Google Plus on the top left. It throws your photo up, and then you can go into Google Plus. Android is just another one of these aftermarket features that Android have finally baked into the OS. It's nice to see. But realistically, you've probably got something that does it anyway.
Now, what about this new gallery app? I mean, great new gallery app. Big deal, right?
I cannot take this seriously. All right, the new gallery app is a gallery app, and it will work perfectly fine, just like any other gallery app.
Okay, so you know what? This is not so much to put down Android 4.2, but rather to just let you know that you don't got to be screaming at your carrier, Google, when am I getting my 4.2 incremental update? It's got some nice little bells and whistles, some stuff that's going to be, buttery smooth in between the rest of, all your fine features, but not something you're going to die if you don't get right away. That's basically what it boils down to. So let's move on to our next topic. We've beaten that one. Our next topic is going to be, how is Google able to sell the Nexus 4 for such a low price?
Magic.
Now, Alex, he went crazy, yesterday, was burning up the wires on Google Plus with this story. And what's the deal on this? How is Google selling this thing for $299 when most manufacturers are asking $500-600 for their phones? What's going on?
Well, we took a look at this even when the Nexus 7 came out in the summer, because that one was sold pretty much at cost. I think it costs like $152 to actually make it, and they're selling it for $199. But they're basically banking on the Play Store, trying to get you to buy music, movies, apps, magazines, everything else that they have in there. Unless you're in the UK like Tom. Doesn't work for him.
They just slyly looked at the camera like, you got fuck all in your store, mate. It's just like, look, my store's not that barren, but yeah, it's not great either.
Now, how are they able to throw it out so cheap? Now, are they putting it right down, do you think, at the bare bones cost of the actual device? Or do you think that they're actually subsidizing, kicking back a little bit of money? I would think it's probably the bare bones pricing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And a lot of the other retailers in other countries, they're selling it for a lot more. Some around $400 or $500 U.S. money, which is like double the price.
U.S. money.
So their whole point on this is to get it out to as many users as possible, rock bottom pricing, get the Nexus devices into as many users' hands as possible, and make money off of the content on the other side, the advertising, versus the actual hardware itself. Now that ties us into our next story, which is kind of is throwing people a little bit up in arms this week, and we got G Plus all panties all in a knot as Christina Gardner here was hitting the beat with a news story about LG pricing the Nexus 4 higher than the Google Play Store. And, you know, I'm kind of wondering, you know, will this end their good standing with Google, seeing that they've decided in certain markets they're going to be charging more? What's the exact details on that, Christina?
First of all, I want to say this is all rumor-based, so nobody take that into serious thought. Okay, it's all rumors. But they're saying that parts like outside, like Spain and India, they're talking about, you know, LG is going to charge like $650 in American dollars and $34K or $35K. You know, it's just outrageous pricing for what the Google Store has compared to what they're planning on doing it now. And like Italy, they have a price of $768, and I mean that's like a huge chunk that's higher than what it should be. It's like $469 more than what we're getting it here in the U.S. So I mean, it's just kind of makes you wonder what LG is doing. What are they doing? What's going on?
What you doing, LG? Come on.
No, Tom, you're our resident European here. So these prices that you've seen, kind of, you know, the 599 euros or 768. That's quite high, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing here is, I mean, I've just done a quick conversion. I have the Play Store here in the UK, and it's £279 sterling for the 16GB version of the Nexus 4. That works out at like $445 US. I mean, that's a straight conversion.
Now that's already a rip-off there alone.
Well, yeah, I mean,
$299, $349 is what the U.S. carriers are rolling it out at here, or U.S.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a straight conversion isn't sort of like a true indicator of their price, but it gets there pretty well. And I think it's quite clear that Google are going to be subsidizing, especially in their biggest markets. Like, you know, they're not going to say to LG, you know, we're going to sell this phone here for next to nothing, so we're just going to buy like loads of units off of you for how much it costs you or you to pay so-and-so to make it. We'll buy those, and that'll be our stock, and then we'll keep buying stock from you at cost, and we'll just sell it, and we'll do what we want with it. But, you know, LG have sort of got to make profit on it, and I think, you know, LG have sort of made a partnership with Google and said, oh, well, yeah, because they need the partnership. I think that, you know, having a Nexus device is important for every OEM. So I think it comes down to the fact that Google have sort of said, oh, well, we'll just buy loads of stock, and then we'll sell it, and we'll either make no money on it at all, or break even, or barely cover distribution costs, or whatever else. Whereas LG are thinking, well, you know what, if you guys aren't going to sell it here, can we sell it here? They'll say, well, yeah, do what you want. And I think it's probably they need to make money on a device that they probably don't see much of a future. I mean, it's clear that the Nexus devices are niche products, and if you're going to be selling it in a country where there's no real Play Store presence, then it's not going to make a lot of money, so you're going to charge more for it.
Well, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with the process of, you know, kind of selling it in different places for different prices. Obviously, at the at the retail level, there's going to be, you know, there's profits that need to be made from the retailers themselves. They can't, you know, there's got to be some markup under there. I understand that. And LG does have to make some money. So it's obvious if you're buying from the Google Play Store, or you have the opportunity to buy from the Play Store, I hope the pricing, though, runs across the board. Now, if you're in India, the same price as it is in the U.S., everyone should be able to buy it at that same rate on the Play Store. You know, whether it be the $299 or the $350, no matter what country you're living in. I think if they're going to roll it out for one country, they got to make it for all the countries via the Play Store only. Now, the retail thing, that's on their own. You know, if they're going to put it in stores, sell it in stores, and have, you know, the retailers there, they can kind of dictate the pricing and stuff like that. Because the online model, you know, it's, while tech-savvy people are, you know, going to go out and buy it there, a lot of people like to hold it in their hands, find out about the phone and stuff. And there's a lot of costs associated with that, hidden costs that you don't see. So I can fully understand, you know, the rationale to the pricing. Although it might seem a little bit of gouging, you know, there is quite.
Well, you've got to sort of think how much is one person getting paid to make it? How much is one person getting paid for this? How much is so and so getting paid to ship it here? How much is the retailer wanting to make on each unit sold? So on and so forth. Whereas,
yeah, and you know,
say Google don't really care. They just want to sell the phone, get Android out there, and then they've got the Play Store. They've got a whole revenue stream lined up for when you get that phone into your hand. Whereas retailers don't. As soon as it leaves their store, that's the only money they're going to make, realistically, unless they pay insurance or whatever else. But it's still limited, and it's still finite, whereas you can use the Play Store for however long.
Now, that kind of ties into our next topic that we wanted to cover, and that is, how well can the Nexus line do, or Google products do, without a Google store? Now, they've been doing quite fine, selling tons, but without a physical store for people to go into, maybe pick up some of these Nexus line devices, some of these Nexus products, Google products. I mean, it could be a big deal. Imagine if the Nexus Q would have been in a Google store. It still would have been with us today and not the tech graveyard that took place a month later. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating that product a little bit. But overall, you have the Microsoft store, you have the big bad Apple store. Google is international. They need a retail space. Now, I'm not saying a Google everywhere, like a Nexus, you know, like a 7-Eleven. We don't need that. But let's talk about, you know, LA, New York, London, you know, Paris, Dubai, Australia, whatever. Let's talk about, you know, at least setting up some flagship stores to get the ball rolling. We all know that they, you know, they have the Google I/O event. They can put together nice-looking little stores and displays, have all their featured devices there. You walk in to that Nexus Google store, check out all the features of the Nexus line, the tablets. Throw some Chromebooks in there as well. Some, what do they call them there? Chrome boxes in there. Sell some Android T-shirts, you know, whatever you got to do. But get people in the door. And I say, put them right next to the Apple stores. Why not? Right next to the Apple stores. Right in the same fucking mall. Just so people can compare them. You know, how would that do? I think that would throw a, you know, Apple probably sue them, you know, because of a patent on the mall or something like that. But they definitely, you know, have them right there, right in their direct competitors. They're starting to kill them. Why not put them to an early grave and throw up the retail stores? You sell more phones, right?
I think what would be good is, like you say, how much are you going to fill a Google store? And it's like, Alex got some really good photos in his article, but I would have, like, you know, you're going to go into one of these places and it's just going to be like, there might be like, you know, so there's 5 Nexus 10s for you to play with, and then there's some Nexus 7s and something else. You're going to have like half a store space filled with Android beanies and T-shirts because they've got nothing else to sell.
Okay,
so,
it's fair.
So
but I mean,
let's make
store, how many freaking devices do they have beside their MacBooks, their iPods?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, they've got like they bulk it up with.
It's not like they got a
Best
Buy full of store of stuff going on there, right?
No. What I was going to go on to say is that, you know, instead of sort of wasting maybe a retail space, whatever, you know, have kiosks and then go to all the big malls and all these things, and then say like Christmas comes around, you get, you know, malls and big shopping centers get massive foot traffic.
So you're saying
you walk past and you see the Google phone, you see a Google booth. hey, I didn't, and then the people that don't know, hey, I didn't know Google make a phone, and they have a look at the phone and goes, oh, wow, my iPhone doesn't do that, or my BlackBerry doesn't do that, and then they're in the mood to spend, if it's Christmas, whatever, I think go where the traffic is, make kiosks, pop up a kiosk outside the Apple Store in your local mall, people coming out, and then just put a big banner up saying iPad Mini 329, Nexus 7, 199.
Okay, but I just gotta say, Tom, I like where you're going with that, sort of, to a certain degree, but I gotta say, a kiosk, and they have this glamorous big frickin' store, beautiful store, and we get a Google Android cart. Is that what you're talking about?
Then you follow the cart. The cart gives you free ice cream, and then you follow the cart to the Google place.
Okay, whatever. My idea is much grander. I say we take up a store the size of Best Buy. We have a row of Nexus 7s, a row of Nexus 10s, a row of Nexus 4s, a row of Chrome, a row of, whatever.
And because they've got so many devices on display, they've never got anything.
Let them play on the YouTube, right? You got your Google guys. You have the Android food bar where they can have...
That is a phrase I've never heard before in my life. It's just like something out of like an old man. It's like, let them play on the YouTube. It's like,
let them play on the YouTube. Let them download the apps. Gotta have like an I/O setting where it's a cool place to hang out and check out the Android devices. That type of more laid back type of store. Where the devices are there to play with, hang out, and just be chilling.
And instead of a Genius
having an Apple salesman down your throat trying to sell you an iPod, kind of just sit there and let the experience take place.
As much as I dislike Apple and Apple stores, I don't think the people that work there have to ram an iPod down your throat. If you're there, you're gonna buy one anyway.
All right, whatever that is. But I'm just saying, I think the case is that Google can put together retail stores. They have the products that they could be showing off maybe some of the newer phones as well, plus their Nexus devices, getting that experience out there. People see Apple in the malls. They don't see Android. They do see the Androids when they go into the carriers. They do see those devices. But we all know how carriers represent some Android devices. Especially Verizon, sometimes AT&T. You go in there and you have forked versions of these devices that don't necessarily promote the brand the best way. And I think just having like a retail shop, you start off slow. They don't have to be in every mall until next year, and and compete with the Apple idea. At least
they don't have to be in every mall until next year. They can roll out slowly. They can roll out to everywhere slowly.
Exactly. No, I mean, you think about it. When you first made your change over to your Android devices, wouldn't it have been nice to go in there and play around with it, hang out, maybe talk to some other Android people, get a little bit of 411, the 911, and the 611 on everything in the store, Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? This works. Check the phone out before. Let the old people bring your parents in with you, just so they can experience what it's all about at the same time. Let people know that the iPad and the iPhone are not the only phone, because some people, don't shop online. They go to physical stores, and that's where, Apple does a lot of sales too.
No, I have to say, I quite like to make, to test things before I buy them. I know I shouldn't in this day and age, but I love a good test. So yeah, I'm with you.
I just want to go and hang out with Andy and get some cool shots of me with Andy
on tour.
Or try out the new Nexus 10 as soon as it's out. Bang, that day. Of course we.
They do it with Chromebooks. They do it with Chromebooks over here. Like they have sections of big, PC World and Curry's retailers. They have big sections for Chromebooks. And there's like a massive, great Chrome neon sign and stuff. Why can't they do that with Android? If they're not going to make retail stores, why can't they do it with Android?
And I mean, one of the other things it could be doing is, having some media in those stores as well too. Some Android 101, showing people how that are not familiar with it or coming from different devices on how it works. The features of it, the apps, the whole culture, the ecosystem. Bring them on board, get them green, right?
Yeah. This is why your BlackBerry is not very good.
Exactly.
Because it's so small.
And we could do drop tests right in the store. Let me see your phone. See? It doesn't work too fucking well, does it? Right?
Pass me your phone. This is your phone. This is our real phone. It isn't a dummy phone. Oh look, no mark on that.
Exactly.
Although I think people might complain quite heavily. But
perfect. All right, I want to see Google stores by Christmas. That's all I got.
I agree. I would love a Google
Android
store.
stores in every mall by Christmas.
I bet each of you $100 that you won't see that, and my Christmas will be set.
You know what? I'm not gonna go in on that bet.
I will bet you, Tom, $7 trillion that there will be what? Huh?
Well, do you know what? I'm not stupid, so I'm not going to say that. Because if you win...
Okay. All right, guys. I was supposed to be on camera here today, and I was for most of the part, but I've been turned into a robot.
You broke Google.
That's how much I'm into Android. That's how, I just eventually turned into a fucking robot.
A red one.
And I was supposed to be
Google.
part of this next segment, and now the segment is totally fucking blowing. So I think we're just going to have to delay that for next week until the cameras are working properly and they can properly promote this device and do this giveaway on an equal footing with Tom. So you're going to have to bear with us. I'm sorry. I know you were all staying tuned for the special giveaway, but we'll give it away next week. And we'll even give it away more. How about that? We'll give away more. Double the prizes. Double the fun. Double the excitement. So anyways, we'll pass that off for next week. We've got lots of fun stuff coming up next week. We have some special announcements coming up, some big changes coming to Android headlines, and we're getting really close. Some super exciting stuff to our design, our website, and all kinds of neat little things. Check out some of our cool features that we've also been starting. We have now phone and tablet wars. How exciting is that stuff?
Woo woo!
Crazy excitement. We have the phone wars where we're pitting two phones against each other, breaking down the specs, and then our crack staff picks the winner, and it's a really great way for you to compare two devices, see which one works out the best, and as well throw in your 2 cents on what you think is the best phone. As well, doing that with tablets. We have some hot top 10s going out as well, and we also got some Christmas stuff coming up in the next week because Christmas is coming close. As much as you don't want to believe it and you are avoiding it, Christmas stuff is coming close, and you need to know what you're going to be buying for your little Android babies. All right?
Yep.
So we're going to come out with some guides as well to help you figure out what you should be putting on your list for the coming Black Friday sales. And we'll be helping you with your shopping, Android shopping.
Not physically, but in spirit.
I expect good deals.
Are you buying your child everything Android, Christina?
I am going to buy him a tablet. I just haven't decided which one.
Well,
The Tabio. The Tabio.
You see, Tom has a tablet guide coming out very shortly that's going to walk you through all the best devices. I suggest spending probably about maybe $3,000 to $4,000 on a tablet for your child because you know they will not break them, and you know it'll just last longer if you spend that kind of money. No, in all seriousness, we're going to come out with a wide variety of products in our shopping guides. Make your shopping a lot easier. Give you some prices. Tell you where to shop.
Informed decisions.
Exactly. So I'd like to thank everyone coming out for the show. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Alex. And thank you, Christina. and I hope everyone at home understands I'm okay. This robot look should be gone in a few days. I'm going to see a doctor and get medical attention for this. I did not wish this upon myself, and I hope that I will be back to myself come next week. So thank you everyone for joining in. In the meantime and in between time, that's it for the Android Headline Show. Thank you all. Have a safe time. Have a safe week. We'll see you next week. Take care.